Alrighty, g'day ladies and gents, this is Scotty Z, Transformational Adventurer, coming at you with Miss Amy Delin today, The Path to True Health. Have I got that right?
That's me, that's Amy Delin.
Wonderful.
Hey everyone.
Welcome Amy, thank you so much. Coming today from Melbourne.
Yes.
In Australia. I believe that you just finished a very exciting event down there.
I did. I'm down here. I don't actually live in Melbourne, but I've been down here over the weekend. I just had my workshop, Raw Food in a Day.
Ooh.
So we spend the whole day cooking, hands-on.
Wait a second, you were cooking when it was raw food? How does that make sense?
Oh, well, you know,
Do you
people
mean
don't understand it if you say uncooking. So, yeah, just really getting our hands dirty for the whole day and educating ourselves and about how to make healthy, really tasty, amazing food. So we had a beautiful day on Sunday, and yeah, I'm just coming off the back of that. So everything's really, really great.
Nice. Now I know that you're a health coach.
Yes.
You do private one-on-one coaching. You also do these workshop seminars to really help people and guide them along the path of what you call true health.
Yes. Yeah.
You've been, I believe, vegetarian or vegan for how long now?
Well, I turned vegetarian when I was 8.
8 years old.
Yeah, I was a little bit of a strange child in doing that. But I was really lucky that my parents were open and really accepting of, you know, what I wanted to do in my life and supported me in doing that instead of, you know, projecting their views or beliefs upon mine. So I'm really thankful for that.
Were your parents just normal, regular Aussies, meat eaters, the typical steak and 3 veg sort of meal?
So a vegetarian isn't a regular person?
Well, it's true. It's certainly becoming more regular, which is a beautiful transition. But I certainly know when we were growing up, at least the families that were around me and the typical Aussie was the meat and 3 veg kind of diet, yeah?
Yeah. No, well, I grew up with that up until that point, but my dad was sort of slightly interested in it, and I guess that's where I started to look into it.
Cool. Okay.
But I'm the only abnormal person now in my family.
the new normal, perhaps.
Yes, that's right.
Which to me is about experimenting with your health and not necessarily going with the rigid regime of what the society around you is doing, but really tapping in and feeling and experimenting with what works for you.
That is my philosophy completely.
We're on the same page.
So, yeah, we are. That's the way I work with my clients, and that's what I like to do, is because you can't put everyone into not everyone is in this box, not everyone's in this box. We all have different bodies, we all have different brains, we all have a different soul and a way of living, and you can't expect everyone to be the same. And if you do that, it's not going to work. So I'm with you on that one.
And it's interesting right now with the health craze and there is so many, every year there is a New York Times best-selling health diet, whether it's Atkins or, obviously the vegetarian vegan movement's been around for a while, but getting more momentum and more attention.
Yes.
And there's a new one that's I want to talk to you about, which is called Paleo. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Paleo, okay.
Yeah, it's like the caveman diet.
The caveman, so Paleolithic era, what we were eating back in the day when we were cruising around before we got into the industrial era and the processed foods and whatever. A friend of mine here in Cairns, where I'm at the moment, Northern Australia, just opened the first Paleo Cafe. She's franchised it. It is taking off. I was there yesterday. Oh, it's 11:11 right now. Beautiful, just recognizing the numbers. And it's taking off. She's 6 months in. She's just franchised. And it's blowing up all over Australia. She's got people in the States that want to take it on. And this paleo diet is something that's getting a lot of momentum. And it was funny because I was in the cafe yesterday and they had like a food pyramid, right? And the food pyramid, if you looked at that food pyramid, it would almost be the opposite to the food pyramid that we were brought up believing. And certainly completely opposite to the vegan vegetarian, if there was a food pyramid for that, in that the bottom, the biggest section of what the paleo diet is telling us to eat is natural grain-fed animals, beef, chicken, whatever, lamb, whatever, seafood and eggs. That's the number one, is meat. Yet what I know from, and then second to that was fruit and veggies, then berries, nuts and seeds. no grains at all, no dairy, obviously no processed foods. And it was interesting because it seems that, like, as a vegetarian, I was vegetarian myself, and obviously you've been in that since you're 8 years old, and what, you're like 50-something now, and you look
I'm
fantastic.
actually 75.
So there's obviously something in it. It's obviously keeping you young. But and it's also like we're getting this information from the mainstream media now to say, oh, you've got to cut back on your meat because it's creating all these cardiovascular diseases and all this other stuff. But paleo, and this massive craze of paleo, is actually saying the opposite, that the right kind of meat is actually the best thing that you can be eating. I don't know where to listen, what do I believe? Again, it usually comes back to what's within me and what's feeling good for myself. But can you talk a little bit about what your beliefs are or your understandings are around the whole paleo craze, and then coming from the perspective of obviously you use a whole vegan or vegetarian food to help other people and you get great successes. So coming as a professional standpoint, can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
I can, and I think one of the major sort of successes with the paleo, from what I understand, is the fact that it's a grain-free diet, which is one of its major pluses, in the fact that in today's world we eat a lot of grains, and that is a major problem in the fact that they're hybridized versions of what they used to be, and we grow them in such large volumes that they're now GMO. They're covered with fungicides, pesticides, you name it. It's not a particularly good way to go. And they also cause inflammation and a lot of problems within the body and autoimmune disease as well. So when you reduce that in your diet or eliminate it, of course you're going to have benefits. And so that is one of the major positives with the paleo, is that it is grain-free. Now, I don't particularly agree with the amount of animal food consumption within the paleo diet, but it is quite good for people who try it. And if you are someone who would like to continue eating meat, it's definitely better than, the typical standard Australian or American diet, which includes a lot more processed foods. And also the fact that it is a natural, it focuses on natural food, so foods that are in the state as close as possible to nature. They go for grass-fed, what is it? Is it grain-fed?
No,
grass-fed.
not grain-fed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Grass-fed meats, and they talk about animals. What's the version of a cow that's not domesticated?
Wild.
Yeah,
free
I know.
range.
There's a name for it. I can't think of it right now because it's not.
A buffalo.
Yeah, buffalo.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, buffalo.
Version of a cow. That works for me.
In my head, that's how it works. Like wild buffalo and game and these sorts of meats. And the reason for that is that they are more natural for your body, and they're not confined in small spaces and treated horribly. And they have a different structure than if you were to have a domesticated or agricultural animal,
which are grown to be plump fast. And we've hybridized them, and I'm sure we're doing some GMO stuff there too, to get those cows just turning over. They're in pens, they're fed shit for generations, and I think the wild animal's the way to go. I wonder if they want us in the paleo diet to, and I think paleo is pretty interesting actually. I'm sort of trying a little bit myself right now, but I wonder if it would be even more beneficial to go out and hunt those animals.
Definitely, it probably would be. I mean, I would prefer people did that.
Oh no, that's how the paleos hunted their women. How did they hunt with spears or something? I can't remember. I wasn't back in the day.
That I sort of say to people is that, cool, if you want to go out and hunt your own animal and you can do that, then that's cool. Like I respect you for that and go and do that, but that's not something I would be able to do, so I don't, I wouldn't eat an animal. So, but in regards to...
Sorry.
No, you can go.
Well, I was going to say, it is interesting what you're saying about the things that they've removed seem to be more important than perhaps what the paleo diet's putting in, and that we have celiac disease and gluten intolerance is one of the biggest problems we have in our society today, and they've just said no grains. Boom, beautiful. Lactose intolerance is growing exponentially. Babies now are being born with it. Take dairy out, boom, another problem gone. They also don't eat legumes. So an allergy to peanuts is another one of the biggest problems that we have as far as allergies go. Boom, we've taken peanuts out, we've taken legumes out. Potatoes also a legume, so you've got that white starch out. And then the whole idea with the animals is that they're all natural, so you've just taken out hormones, you've just taken out, you know, pesticides. It's all organic food, pesticides, artificial fertilizers. So maybe you are right in what you're saying, is that the paleo is more about removing the toxicity from our diets than it is putting in, which may be some good rules of thumb for us to work on.
Well, that's a lot of the foundation of good nutrition. It really is just getting back to nature and just being really mindful about where our food's coming from and trying to eat as natural food as possible. And because at each stage of processing, food loses half its nutrients. And yet, you know, a lot of processed foods undergo maybe 8 stages of processing. So you can see how many nutrients are left in that. And then what happens is there are no nutrients left, and then they need to put some back in. So you've then got no nutrients in there, and then the product's being fortified with synthetic vitamins and things like that. So it's completely unnatural for us to be eating that way. And, you know, that's one of the major problems with people's diets now. But it's because of convenience, and it's the way that lifestyles have been set up, and people are so busy and they can't really understand how to make food that is tasty and healthy and quick, you know, especially when they're parents and that sort of stuff. You know, our priorities have changed a lot in the modern world. Yeah. So it's just about reintroducing those easier ways of getting back to nature and eating healthy foods with it being tasty and really nutritious. So
yeah, absolutely. It was interesting. I got home yesterday. I went to the pool and did a big swim, and I come home and open the fridge, and there's nothing in the fridge. You know, how many of us said there's nothing in the fridge? There's a whole big veggie tray full of like all the veggies you can get. In the fridge is a thing of brown rice, and I'm like, let's start cooking. And I was midway like cooking this awesome stir fry. I love Asian food. This awesome stir fry and rice. And halfway through it, I was sort of like, damn it, I just wish that I had like some muesli bars or some like quick food. And I just stopped myself and I was like, dude, this is real, man. This is nature. This is what we have to do. This is what people have to do. But as you're saying, we've been brought into this society where it's like, yeah, I'll just have a pie, thanks. Oh yeah, I'll just have that processed, that prepared thing. Or open the packet. Oh, damn it, packet took me too long to open to get it in my mouth, you know. I spent half an hour cooking this beautiful dish. Flatmate comes home, she eats 2, everyone's happy. But that to me it's like it's sort of foreign to a lot of us that I've actually got to spend the next, I've got to wash these veggies, cook them and cut them and cook them. Like, what the hell? Could have eaten them raw, I suppose. You could have showed me a couple of things. Could have saved some time there. But yeah, it's so true. Getting back to that natural way, it's going to take some changing in our mentality and our mindset, especially when we're hungry, you know. And food, it's such an easy sell for companies that are selling this food because you're hungry, eat this. You know, oh yeah, I'm hungry right now. I don't want to wait half an hour. I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
I eat this. Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Any tips that you've got for people out there that are transitioning from, say, a SAD diet? You mentioned before a standard American or a standard Australian diet, a SAD diet to a more natural way of living, whether it's the paleo or it's the vegan or the vegetarian, but a whole food diet, yeah? What do you recommend your clients, and how do you guide them to get back more into that natural way of eating?
Well, yeah, I do promote a whole foods diet, and that is the basis of anything and everything. And whether that includes a little bit of meat or anything like that, you know, that's not the issue. It's about, you know, getting back to nature and eating foods as they are meant to be in their natural state. So that's the foundation. And then for me, it's about more. It's all about more, adding as much goodness and taste and nutrition as we can into your life and your food. And that's what people get excited about. You know, it's not about taking stuff away and making your life miserable, because that's not the whole point. We want to include, you know, as many new experiences and tastes as possible to make it fun, exciting, and really, you know, make you feel like you're actually getting more goodness into your life, because that's what's happening. So when you actually go on a diet, or you do one of these detoxes where you're completely setting yourself up for failure because you're not allowing yourself to have certain foods, that's not the way that I like to work. It's more about upgrading what you're currently doing, and as long as you're doing one, even if it's just one thing each day that's better than you did yesterday, you're on fire, because that's what it's all about. It's growth, it's expansion, and as long as you're moving in a positive direction, that's what it's all about. So moving upward from upgrading what type of oil you use while you're cooking, from a canola or a vegetable oil to coconut oil, for example, that can make so much difference within your life, or even just swapping your fruit and vegetables for organic fruit and vegetables, or putting some superfoods in your smoothie, or there's just so many little tiny steps that we make along the way, and we make those depending on your lifestyle and where you're at currently. And it's just about making it easy and having those wins, because that's what life's about. Everyone likes to win. You don't want to be deprived and annoyed because you've, eaten a big chocolate bar because you haven't eaten any food you've enjoyed for a week, and then you go on a big binge. That's not what it's about. So, and when you live that way, it's not about focusing on weight loss or focusing on looking a certain way. All that stuff just comes naturally without us having to even look at it. It's just including as many good things as possible. So,
you mentioned your company is the path to true health.
Yes,
and
it is.
Exactly what you're explaining then. It's a journey. It's a path.
Yeah.
Step by step by step by step, and you're taking people and you're guiding them along from success to success, from win to win. As you were saying, people like to win. It's in that yes that I really kicked ass. I changed like my groceries, or I changed those all, or I put those superfoods in. Yes, and now I take the next step on the path and the next step. It seems to me it's a more natural way of living and of changing, rather than these diets. It's like, no, take that, throw that away. Now do this. You're now in this little diet. Hello, you're in here now. And it's just, and it's when you do fail, like having that chocolate bar, it's disheartening, and it's hard for people to continue along the path. It seems that what you're doing is you're guiding people, taking them by the hand, and as a guide, and I know that as an adventure guide, that's what I do as well. I guide people into their true nature, and it seems that you're doing that through health.
It is. That's the way I describe what I do as well. It's like we use health and nutrition as the vehicle to guide us through what you want to get out of life. And when you actually start to really look at improving your health and really valuing how much difference it makes in your life when you have amazing health, the things that are now available to you become so amazing. Things that you would not have even noticed before become, things just start to come in, and it really is a real transformational journey, and it's so beautiful to be able to walk hand in hand with someone on that journey and guide them. That's what life's all about, and whether it's over a year or 6 months or even 3 months, it doesn't matter. But everyone's different, and even just starting the journey is all that you need to do, and to make that decision that you want more.
More. I like this idea of more.
More. It's all about more.
More power, more energy, more vitality, more smiles, more friendships, more to give. It's definitely
it's all out
about
there
more.
waiting for you. That's the cool thing,
And more bananas. I've got a kilo of bananas in the fridge that need to be eaten. I'm going to
Beautiful.
Eat them soon. So how do we find out more about Amy Delin?
Well, my website is amydelin.com, and it's spelt AIMEEDEVLIN.
Excellent.
Thanks, Mum and Dad, for that one.
Yeah. Hey, you're different. The name's different. It works.
Yeah, that's right. So, that's the center of the Path to True Health, where you'll find anything and everything to do with what I do. My events that we were just discussing is raw food in a day, and it's just a snapshot at looking at the nutrition and really hands-on preparation, not cooking, of raw food. And raw food is amazing. I absolutely love it, but it's not everything. And so, there'll be more workshops coming up with different aspects of health and cooking as well, because like we discussed earlier, there's not one approach that fits everyone. And that's that's actually one of the drivers, and one of the things that I really, really enjoy about my work is really finding what suits you. Like that's what you've been doing on your journey too. Testing out the vegetarian, the vegan. Now you're excited about the paleo diet, and that's what life's about, finding what it is that floats your boat.
Yeah. So. Exactly. And I'd love to encourage people to get over and grab your ebook. I know that you've got a really awesome ebook on the path to true health at your website. So I encourage people to get over to amydelin.com and grab that. It'll give you another understanding and another look at health from where Amy's guiding. And I love the idea of raw food in a day. It does give you that snapshot of one of the biggest crazes, again, that's happening in health. And like we were talking about, again, with the paleo, it's if we can educate ourselves and look at all of these different options and then really tap into the wisdom of our bodies, because all wisdom comes from nature, and this is the closest nature that we have. We interact with the nature outside through the 5, 6 senses, but this nature, as a spiritual being, we're connected with this nature, the nature of our being. And so tapping into that nature and really finding what works. I put this in, I do this, I sit this way, I do this exercise. What is it that's going to work best for me? And so getting in and learning what you're teaching there is fantastic. And then other opportunities to learn from the paleo or this or that or whatever it is. I definitely recommend, guys, go and have a look at Amy's stuff and see if she can help you a little bit there too.
Thank you. I would love to help. That's what I do, and that's what I love to do. That's what gets me going. And like you said, taking responsibility and just educating yourself and, not listening to what I say. I encourage everyone at my events to test out what I'm telling them. Don't listen to what I say as gospel, because there's always someone else who's saying something else. And you've got to work with and listen to who you want to, who you relate to. So it's like even the paleo diet, there's a friend of mine sent me a TED talk the other day about the debunking the paleo diet, So I'll send that to you as well.
Please do,
because I know that
I'll include the link here on YouTube too. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we'll include the link to that, because there's always two sides, and that's the cool thing. But you just find what works for you and your body, and I kind of call it it's like we all have an inner compass that shows us what foods, what experiences, and everything that we enjoy. And if you just listen to that and get in touch with that, then life becomes so much more amazing.
Absolutely. So. And it's funny you mentioned that. I have a little series over at transformational-lifestyle.com that goes into, there's some free videos that talk a lot about and guide people to tap into their internal guidance system, that compass that you talk about. Because it's one thing to know it's there, but it's another to learn how to read it. And sometimes it's like another language. I've got my boat license. I'm a commercial boat captain, and learning how to even read a simple compass, you think it's easy. There's a little bit involved to even read that compass on the front of the boat, let alone the compass of the heart and the compass of the being. So people can check that out too, transformational-lifestyle.com, and get some videos there. But otherwise, thank you so much, Amy Delin. You are amazing.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you. I
love talking to you.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. Thank you. And otherwise, guys, Scotty Z, have fun. We'll see you real soon for the next adventure. Where that takes us, we shall find out. But otherwise, natural health and path to true health. Amy Delin, you're awesome, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bye.